I respect the appellate division for substantially reducing that ridiculous amount of money was put on by a corrupt judge named Engoron. You ought to be seriously looked at, especially what he did with valuations. He's a fraudulent valuator where he values Mar-a-Lago at $18 million and people say it's worth 50 to 100 times that much, the biggest experts in the business. So.
Wow, Zizou is first. The one is second. U.S. Tahoe, how are you? Lee, Eddie, Oscar. Slow to join. But always a praise. CJ Yukon. Are they doing well? Hey, KYP. KYP. Sitting on a plug doesn't feel very good. Okay, Heath, I got to go down to those emails. I had quite a few things I had to get done today, so that's why I'm late. And I think it's time maybe to start changing my narrative. I think you all know where I stand on what goes on, and I'm not sure that we've been able to change anything. I think MMTLP has the best chance of changing it. But I think I'm going to just try to somewhat move on to other ideas. What other things we should be doing? I don't know how quickly I can make that transition, but we'll see.
Call from Mike Farron.
Can't.
Mike Farron.
I just spoke to him. Sorry about that.
Call from Mike Farron.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Normally I can get rid of those calls.
Would you like to say something?
Just simply, we're gratified by the appellate division's decision today, which shows that there still is a rule of law.
That's a lot of money. I didn't see that documentary preview. I'm glad it looks good. It cost quite a bit of money to do it. Hey, Pilot. Hey, Rob. Yeah. Sweet 16. I ended up, I don't know if I'm still in last place, but I might as well be. So, yes, I think Logic will be announcing a deal soon, but I guess it depends on your definition of soon. If I had to guess, I mean, it's basically just one or two people running it now. It's a reverse merger, which is supposed to come into Logic. This has been out there for a while, and it's been, I don't know if announced is not the word, but when Brent came on here a couple of times, he talked about it. And I think it's out there, and I think it's close to being finalized. my guess is they do not want to talk about something that's non-binding. They want to get it into a binding status. In other words, do the audits, do all the, the year-end numbers, and then they can announce it. I don't think the market will treat a non-binding deal as if it's really anything. So that's my opinion. Yeah, Finger agrees to settle with Benzinga. I knew that was the news, but I didn't read it. So let's see if we can read it. Yeah, the stock's up, about 3%, 221. Yeah, Finger Motion announces settlement agreement with Benzinga. Okay, so they filed, sorry. On October 19th, Finger Motion announced it had filed a federal lawsuit in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. She's busy down there. Finger Motion versus Capybara Research, alleging claims for securities fraud, tortious interference with prospective business expectancy, and defamation in connection with a defamatory article maliciously published to its website and Twitter account in a premeditated attempt to decrease the company's share price and financially benefit from its previously disclosed short position. On January 16th, the company amended its complaint to add claims against Accretive Capital, doing business as Benzinga, for tortious interference with prospective business expectancy and defamation in connection with the republishing of Capybara's defamatory article. As of March 21, 2024, Finger Motion has entered into a settlement agreement with Benzinga, facilitating the removal of references to Capybara's article from Benzinga's website and dismissing Benzinga from the lawsuit. We are gratified to reach this milestone in our legal action against Capybara Research and coming to a settlement with Benzinga, stated Martin Shen, CEO. However, this is, only the first step in our drive to fully redress the damage caused by this false and malicious article. We remain committed to pursuing our federal lawsuit until a final judgment has been reached. I think that's great. I don't know why they would settle with Benzinga. It doesn't say. It doesn't say what the settlement involved, but the Benzinga is just a platform, I guess. So the real person to go after is this Capybara Research. Hey, Andy. Isn't that funny? They don't. It's always like that. The bad news spreads like wildfire, but then the correction is on page 19. Would I buy DWAC? I don't know enough about it. Let me just see if there's a chart. I wouldn't chase anything. The funny thing is, against our instincts, all of our instincts, if a stock starts moving, that's usually the wrong time to buy. That's interesting. If I were bullish on that stock, if I started out bullish on that stock, I would look at this chart as a very positive chart. It looks like it's breaking out. Over the last 2 months. But I'm not sure I'm right. Let me see how many years I can look at. It basically is 2 years. So let's look at a 3-year chart. Yeah, I mean, if it went back to its all-time highs, which happened right at the beginning, that would be exciting. I would say it's going up. That's what I would say. It could pull back first, but I would say it's going up. And I don't know, is Trump going to use DWAC, or is he going to use Twitter, or use them both? But yeah, I would say, look, it's broken out in one way, and another way, I'd like to see it a little bit higher before it looks for sure. But if it went through 60, obviously it'll go to 70, and then it'll go to 100, 110. And I would guess that's what's going to happen, but it's a guess. I don't know that one. RIVN. 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 Rivian. Heard of it. Oh my gosh. Oh my, you're certainly buying it when no one else wants to. And it's kind of got a double bottom thing going on, which is a bullish. I don't know. I'd be careful. I think I'd be careful. Tentatively, I can see why you're interested, and if you're willing to hold longer term, I can also see why you'd be interested. But as a trade, I don't know. I guess you'd be playing it for a snapback. That's possible. I don't know enough about it. Let's go to Ham won't be on today, so sorry to disappoint you, and I probably won't be on very long. I'm going to stop talking about a lot of these stocks until, there's something to talk about. Just because it seems like if we talk about them, the stocks go down, and I don't know if it helps anything. And just saying the same thing over and over again, I don't think helps anything. So we'll try to expand our conversation. Hey, Oscar. I like this name, Devanda. AOTC, Rocket Man. All right, Heath, yeah, I'll go do that. I got to do it. I don't know if I'm going to do it this afternoon. First thing in the morning, but I'll go do it. Oh, I already saw this one. Yeah. Looking good, Billy Bob. Hopefully Finger will have real good news in a few days. I'm not overly the chart and all that doesn't feel like, as you put it, the ball is going to start rolling in a massive way. But I do expect there will be news on Finger over the next weeks, if not this week, next week. By maybe by Easter or by the end of Easter break or something. But it doesn't feel like any of these stocks have a lot of focus on them right now. Oh, good. Good. Roll Tide. Yeah, I've got to join the second chance bracket. Maybe I'll pick them. Who knows? Hey, Donkey. Well, the electric car stocks. Mark, I think the future of a revolution is ammonia. I'd say 15 years ago, maybe longer, I used to speak with Matt Simmons. I met him a couple of times. He's a great man. I thought very highly of him. But he was in Maine. He was backing a technology, and electrolysis, I think is what you call it. But with the windmills offshore would be used for electricity, and I guess air conditioning in the summer. But in the winter, there was very little demand because up there they use fuel oil for heat. It's all to my memory. But anyway, the windmills still turn. So what they were trying to create was and they had it on a test basis, on a lab basis, where you run this process of electrolysis with the seawater, and you create ammonia, and the waste product is water. And anyway, ammonia you can put in a combustion engine and get, I don't remember if it's better, but it's nearly the same results as gasoline. And there's a lot of seawater in the world. So I think that's the future. I don't think electric cars are the future. Unless electric cars are two things. Unless there's a better battery, that's the key. That's the holy grail. I think if a battery technology comes, which could actually store for a long time energy in an inexpensive and predictable way, those automobiles would make sense. Also, just using them for in town or in the city. Just have to change how we have our highways. Hey, Randy. I had a decent weekend, thank you. Hey, Randy, yep. DWAC is dumping. I don't have it up. I mean, it does have a little vulnerability in it, but maybe on a pullback, it's worth buying. I don't know. DWAC. I mean, it's already up 12 points today. That's not the best time to buy anything after it's already up. Jumps 30% on Trump's reduced bond post-merger ticker news. Trump is about to get $3 billion richer. Richie Rich. It'll be in 6 months. There, he can't trade out of it for 6 months and others as well. But it used to be you could go to a company like Bear Stearns and make a deal and they'll sell it for you and put a contract on the other side. So you take a big haircut. In a way, that's what these other people that we are familiar with do too. APS 71. I don't know if there's going to be a lot that I'm going to say today. I think Diggy Kirk, I went to the headquarters of a company here that's rapidly growing, and one of my friends put $5 million into it, and I learned a lot about Chipotle from afar. I didn't realize it no longer is part of McDonald's. It has a huge valuation, but it's growing quickly. Let me look at this chart. I like that stock split. I think it's good. I don't remember the symbol. There it is, CMG. Yeah. I think the chart looks great. I mean, the chart's extended, just like all the stocks, everything. But this is trading like a blue chip stock is, like the big boys that get bought by the funds and they just keep buying and buying. At some point, I think the market still is going to go higher. I've been saying that for months, and I still think it's going higher, even though the economy looks really rickety. But I think there's so much cash floating around, and we're in an election year. I think the market is going a lot higher. That may be it, though. That may be the all-time highs. 78 billion. My friend, my investor, put $5 million in this new company at a $100 million valuation. They have 54 stores or 48. I can't remember. Right around 50. They're raising money to expand to 100, and then they'll keep growing. You don't really make a lot of money, and apparently neither did Chipotle or Sweet Greens or a couple of those others until you reach a certain size. But then you get this massive valuation. Yeah, I think it's good. The markets are all, at nosebleed levels, the PE ratios are high. I think it's going to go higher. At some point, there's going to be a change in leadership in the markets, but I don't think it's happening anytime now. If we get a pullback in the overall markets, I think that'll be something to buy, because I really do think they're going to juice this much higher. Then we can talk about it. At some point, I don't know if it'll be this year, next year, following year, we're going to go into a bear market that'll be worse than anything you've ever seen. And that's what I'd like to get ready for. It'll be a generational bear market, possibly. I don't know. I don't want to be doom and gloom, but I think when we go into the bear market, which we're not going to do it yet, I don't think. You're talking about Great Depression type things, and maybe the markets will round trip to some level from the 90s or the 80s. It's not going to be pretty, but for now, that looks good. I think Chipotle looks good. I think all the fast foods that are now, I forget what he called it. It's called casual dining, or there's another adjective in it. I have it somewhere. But the point is, it's a little bit better to eat at some of these places than going into Hardee's. And it's not as expensive as going into Capital Grille. Thank you, Nuts Diamond. I don't know anything about SoundHound, but certainly AI is in the markets. I mean, is in the news. Useless comment. Finger has no volume blues. I don't personally, David, see low volume or no volume as bearish. I see that in these stocks. It used to be that selling would end because there'd be a block for sale, or there'd be a huge fund trying to get out, and then it would end. Nowadays, the selling just is endless. It never stops because there's no enforcement of settlement, and never will be. No one cares. No one cares. And I'm tired of fighting it myself. I think we have to accept that the rules are, if you are a big fund, if you have a lawyer covering for you, and if you have the backstop of one of these convertible notes, and you have access to a market maker, you can sell a nearly infinite amount of stock, and you can create your own result by destroying a stock price. But within that, there are some stocks which I think you can fight back with. The only way to win against these guys is when they start losing money and they cover. But I don't know if we're ever going to see one of those. We will see one. I'm just tired of trying to call it beforehand. VGLS. No, I don't have any thoughts on it. Let me look at the. I really don't have any. It doesn't. That's not the symbol, is it? think it's VLGS anyway. Just look. No. Anyway, no, I don't really have any thoughts. There's not much to discuss. Hey, Billy Ray. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing public yet, but yes, they're working on it. Let me see if I have. They are working on it. And that's all I can really say. They are working on it. You must have missed what I said earlier. Truth is, they being, I guess, Brent and his team, but also whoever is on the other side of it, they really want to announce a definitive deal. When they announce it, they want to say it's agreed, it's done, and there's no turning back. I don't believe they want to announce a non-binding deal. And the transaction from both sides, you have to have fully audited books. So that means 2023. If it had been done in the fourth quarter, you wouldn't have had that, but it wasn't. So now they've got to get all that accounting done for last year, which, as you know, tax season ends next month. So that's one reason for a delay. The other is Logic, the shell, has to be in a current status with its filings, its reports, and all that. And that may be something that's going on as well. But yeah, I think something will happen there. I would guess. I really don't know. I would guess we still have anywhere from 2 weeks to 8 weeks. And I would lean to more weeks. I would lean toward a month to 2 months from now is where I would lean, but it's a guess. It is a guess. I think that's true. I think that's true. Not ammonia, hydrogen. Hydrogen is just a storage mechanism, as I understand it. I'm not a engineer or a chemist, but it's ammonia, which Matt Simmons was involved in. I mean, perhaps hydrogen's the wave of the future because of its ability to act like a battery, but with Matt Simmons, it was ammonia. That was what he was studying. I'd love to go up and see if his daughter and his family are still pursuing it. And NWBO goes to 25. All right. Let's see how NWBO is trading. They really have that one under their thumb. Yeah. Galadon, are you the one that said just keep buying it, accumulating? It doesn't look like, well, I don't know. It's had a nice bounce up. One of these times that'll be the real bounce. But as you know, since all last year, every time it bounced up, it comes right back down. And but it can go up quickly, can it? Look at that. In September of last year, it went through October, it went all the way to 110 before they started driving it down. I like the story of NWBO, but not as a trade. I like it for the theory that a large pharmaceutical company or drug company or conglomerate will come in and buy them, and it won't be based on the market price of the stock. They'll just do whatever analysis they do, and maybe they buy it at $80 a share, maybe 25. All right, so it's 4:07. Let's see if there's anything to talk about. This might be a short live. I'm going to try to do a couple of updates for you in video form on MMTLP and on yeah, I don't see anything in the news. All right, let's see what Gallatin says. They submitted for marketing approval to the MHRA in December. I'm hoping approval results in a bump. I think that's the exit, is a buyout. And if I make some money in one of these other trades, I want to have a small position in Northwest Bio, just because it makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know it better than what I just described. God, Marjorie Taylor Greene is on a bit of a run. I guess. All right, sorry, I'm reading the news instead of talking to you, but I don't know what else to really talk about. The market's closed. There's a lot of pictures of Taylor Swift for whatever reason. I hope Trump picks Byron Donalds. I hope he picks Byron Donalds. That'd be my favorite choice. All right, I don't know if there are no more questions, I might just hang up early and we'll call this a short video. Ham wasn't available today. Maybe he'll be on with Ace later on, but maybe we can fill out my Sweet 16. I could ask you guys, join group. So I have to pick my brackets. So UConn over San Diego State. Who do you think? Illinois over Iowa. Oh, this is going to be tough. Houston over Duke. Hi, Duke. NC State over Marquette. Wow. Okay, Purdue is still in there versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga is good. Creighton's great. Creighton versus Tennessee. Arizona, Clemson. North Carolina, Alabama. I guess I have to study this. I can't do it quickly. I'm feeling better. My own opinion is I have what do you call it? Pollen, whatever. I'm reacting to pollen because I don't have any fever. I don't have any achy joints. I just have, and it's not as bad as it was. So I just think it was pollen. All right, Scott. Barely 1%. All right, Lion of all trades. Maybe he can give you some ideas. This is going to be tough to pick who's going to win. I guess it'll be the last year's champion. Yep, artificial intelligence, crickets. OCGN. That's the one we were talking about last week. It's 183 now. Did it go to 2? Still a pretty terrible looking chart. But that's a nice call by you guys. You definitely made a good call. They had a lawsuit update. Oh, it made 210. Wow. All right. I'll go a little while longer, but I don't have much more to say. I just wanted to well, you're welcome to your opinion. You certainly are welcome to your opinion. That's what makes a market. All right, it's 4:15. So 180 is support. How high do you think it can go? Let me just look at the chart. I mean, to me, the chart doesn't look that great. But let me look at a better chart. It's breaking out. You can hardly argue with that kind of movement. That's nice movement. Breaking out of whatever that pennant formation was, and then boom. It's nice. I wish one of ours would do that. That's awesome. I think you have a winner, Lion. And I guess the next stop is $3. And then 4. And then 7 or 8. Yeah. Would you agree with me that it's going to $7 or $8? I like that. I liked that idea that you gave. Um, um, I know. I wish we had all gotten into that. That's nice. I think the next resistance is around $3 and then $4 and then it goes to 7. 7 to 8. Yeah. That's where I would say it's headed. And if they could break through there and make that support, you might really have a position. You're glad. No, I didn't get my NBH yet, and I am going to call tomorrow. I was going to call today, but I decided to go live instead late. I've been doing a few other things, but I'll find out tomorrow what the status is. He told me to call him back in 2 business days, which is tomorrow. So I'll do it. But I haven't gotten them yet. No is the answer. No is the answer. And it makes me think that maybe we're finally getting to the look. If it gets to the point where you can't transfer stock to AST, it's bad news individually. For me, it would be bad news. But as a group, I think it would be very good news because it would give Greg McCabe the tool he needs to go to bring this to the next step. So, all right. I'm sorry to bore you, but at least we got in touch today. If there's no more real questions, I'm going to probably sign out in a second. I'm going to try to do a couple of videos, maybe on NextBridge, maybe on Finger, maybe. I'll see if I can do something tonight. Hey, lucky boy. Hey, lucky boy. Are you all right? Oh, he doesn't look good. You can come over. FDA approval pending. Or they did get approval. So maybe that's why it's up. That's a nice looking. I wish one of our charts looked that way. I think it's going higher. I mean, maybe Lion it pulls back a bit, but that looks like that stock has a lot of power behind it. All right. All right. So Lion has a website or Discord. He has a cord on Discord. And nothing announced yet. Well, it'll pull back when it's announced. I got you. And you can catch up with Ace later on. Maybe Ham will get on with him, but I'll try to go to 4:30. How's that? 10 more minutes if someone has something. If not, um, everything. Yeah, everything. Nothing's. Well, that's, everybody needs to have an opinion on things. I've been looking at some private transactions, and I'm starting to believe that that's the only way to make money, because these markets, I'm not saying that we can't make money in these trades, these various trades, but trying to trade them by any method which I used to use doesn't seem to work. Anyway, how many? It's the same thing over and over again. We in the United States markets, settlement is not enforced. It is for retail longs, and I assume for real shorts, but not for the pretenders, the fronts for short sellers. There's no settlement. Yeah. Yeah, I would advise no one to listen to this channel. You've lost 95% on your money. That's terrible. I think Boeing's in trouble. I think Boeing has to. I mean, it does look like we're going to war, so that could rescue them somewhat. But I think Boeing has to cancel. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I think they have to cancel that MAX aircraft carrier, and uh, for the plant they have to recall it. I don't know. That'll put these aircraft carriers in trouble. I mean, these airline carriers in trouble. But I think they have to pull that plane completely. Maybe just revert back to the original. They definitely need to get rid of the Goldman Sachs approach to profits, the hedge fund approach to profits, and get back to that's one of America's great companies, and it's turned into a disaster. I think they can recover, but man, do they have to bite the bullet. I just don't think they can pretend any longer. They have to stop production, tear down their whatever production systems they have in place, start all over again. And I think they have to recall that MAX plane. So I think Boeing is in a lot of trouble. It's going to go lower, but could be wrong. See Ham's tweet pointing to the 4-minute MMTLP. I thought Ham was blocked from Twitter. Let me see Ham's tweet. What Ham says about DWAC is that it will become DJT and the shorts will get roasted. That's interesting. There's Billy Ray Valentine. And then he posted that all toxic lenders are unregistered broker dealers. It's bail before jail, so you better not fail. On Finger, he says, Lynn Partners is trapped. The more shares you sell, the higher the stock will go. That's on Finger. KNW, slow death of a public company. Let me see what's happening with KNW. Kristen is great. I don't see what you're talking about. So Ham Short Killer joined Ace yesterday live. So I don't see your I don't see that petaboo. I don't see it. I looked. Yeah, a lot of these stocks all of these stocks, I would say, are speculative. There's a couple that seem to have more certainty than the rest. But yeah, I think if